Hi everyone, my name is Morgan and this is Heidi. We are both crisis counselors for North Range Behavioral Health's Colorado Spirit COVID-19 support program. So Colorado Spirit is a FEMA subsidized program that's employed anytime there's a disaster in the community. So for COVID-19, we're here to provide free emotional support to anyone that has been affected by the pandemic in any way. And that can be done over the phone or virtually, depending on someone's preference. And it's important to note we're not a clinical program, so we do not diagnose or prescribe treatment. Rather, we're just here to offer a safe and confidential space to talk and listen and maybe work on some coping skills that can help during this time.
Thanks, Morgan. Yes, so today we're going to talk about how to manage stress while planning for the holidays. The holidays can naturally be a stressful time, and now we're adding this pandemic, which in many cases means not seeing people that we love and miss and look forward to spending time with during this season. Nearly all of our daily routines look different now, and it's an adjustment for sure. We're going to try to give you some tools that will help you to find some peace within yourself, regardless of the things going on around you, which is so important to be able to do right now. We've decided to focus today on how to connect with others during this time and how to maintain family traditions while staying safe. Morgan, how are you guiding your callers that are struggling with isolation right now?
Yeah, I think that isolation and loneliness are a huge issue right now, just during quarantine and the stay-at-home orders in general. And then especially as we move into the holiday season when normally we would be gathering with large groups of friends and family and just getting together to celebrate. So I think a huge way to combat this sense of loneliness is to find ways to maintain holiday traditions and to connect with those people during this time.
Right, and it can feel difficult to maintain traditions when you're not with your family in person this year. So we brainstormed some ways to bring some flexibility to old traditions while staying safe during the quarantine. I know I have personally struggled to get into the holiday spirit in the past years during that weird transition after my kids moved out, but before my grandkids came along. And a common attitude, which I had, is nobody's going to be here to see it anyway, so why should I bother decorating? But you'll be there to see it. And I found that once I pushed through it, I actually had a happier holiday season. I was so glad that I did. There's no reason to feel like Christmas is ruined this year. It's just going to look a little different, and you'll learn to appreciate Christmas even more when things go back to normal, which they will do eventually. So leading up to the holidays, we made a list of some other ideas to get into the Christmas spirit. One of my favorites is driving around looking at Christmas lights. A lot of people in this area go all out with that. How about you, Morgan?
I also love looking at the lights. And I think one of my other favorites is sending out cards to people. I think it can be fun to send to friends and family or even just neighbors and coworkers. I feel like everybody loves getting a Christmas card.
I know I love getting Christmas cards, so I'm waiting for my Christmas card from you this year now. So make some holiday dishes from mom or grandma that they used to make. Maybe you've never tried it. Maybe it would be super scary, but it would be really fun to learn. Another thing you could do is put together a cookbook of family recipes, like scrapbook style, and give it away as a gift. I did something similar to that for my mom once, but it had her own recipes in it, so I don't know, that might have been kind of weird. But what's next on your list, Morgan?
Well, I think a big part of getting into the holiday spirit for me is watching movies and listening to holiday music. And I think one way to do that right now, if you have to spend time with your family virtually, is to use a video sharing platform so that you can still see each other's faces and still talk and get to watch a movie together.
Right. And of course, my personal favorite shopping, online shopping, is still a go, friends. It's the season of giving, so that's another favorite of mine.
Yeah, mine too. And I think there's just a ton of ways to celebrate this year. I know that my family and I are doing our celebrations completely virtually. So one thing that we're doing is making a care package and then enjoying those together over Zoom or opening presents together over Zoom later. And if hosting your own holiday party seems daunting, there's also a lot of pre-hosted Zoom parties. So they have Christmas music and other holiday music, and also various activities that you can do with other participants in the event and your own family. And these are just some ideas for how to stay connected, but feel free to drop in the chat any ideas you have or just how you're planning to celebrate this year.
Yes, and we look forward to those comments. Along with maintaining traditions and finding ways to connect with your family, finding a more general self-care routine can be a helpful way to combat loneliness and isolation. Isolation and loneliness can cause anxiety, which can lead to insomnia and sleeping problems. Morgan, what are you telling clients that are experiencing sleep problems?
Yeah, a lot of people are calling in right now and describing insomnia. So I think the first step in that is just to nail down a good sleep routine and to practice some basic good hygiene, which can mean going to bed at a consistent time each night, reading before bed, or taking a bath instead of using your phone and being exposed to that blue light. And if you do find yourself having trouble sleeping in the night, getting up for maybe a half an hour and just doing a relaxing activity rather than trying to force sleep. And in addition to getting enough sleep, I think it's important to just do things that you enjoy every day. So Heidi, what are you recommending to people around that?
So I encourage finding things you enjoy that strengthen both your mental and physical health. Make sure to regularly integrate time into your day doing things you enjoy. A lot of people think that they don't have time, but it really needs to be a priority that you make time for. Everyone has their own favorite pastimes that make them feel good. Personally, mine are exercise, music, hot baths, calling my friends, hanging out with my dog who's hanging out with us today. Morgan, what are your favorites?
Exercise is a big one for me too. I also love to read and do yoga routines on YouTube, especially since yoga studios aren't accessible right now. And I think another aspect of self-care that a lot of people don't think of is just to take a moment to be grateful for other people in your life and to even demonstrate this through small acts of kindness. So this can look like setting an intention each day to do some small act of service for someone else, like picking up a cup of coffee or running an errand, or even just checking in with a coworker about how they're doing, sending a good morning text. These things might seem small, but even tiny acts of kindness can go a long way to help other people and boost your own mental health.
They really do, and I love that. On that note, gratitude can also be a really powerful thing. Similar to how forgiving others can bring you peace, being grateful takes away some of the bad feelings associated with what has been taken from you temporarily during this time. One thing I recommend to my callers struggling is finding something every day this month that you're grateful for and putting it on your refrigerator. I get really good feedback from that exercise, and it really does seem to work.
So that's all we have for you today, and thank you guys so much for joining us. Next week, Amy and Shauna from our team will be presenting about maintaining recovery during the pandemic and the holiday season. And if you'd like to talk to one of our crisis counselors or need any additional resources, please call us. Our warm line is 970-347-2359. Thank you all.
Thank you.